Ozzy Osbourne found a boy living in a barn, playing Johnny Cash on a broken guitar. Sometimes destiny hides on the loneliest roads. That morning, Ozzy Osbourne wasn't supposed to be there. But fate doesn't use GPS, it uses broken roads and broken guitars. Before we begin, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? And if you believe in second chances and the power of kindness, hit the like button and subscribe to Voices of Darkness. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers so we can bring more stories that heal hearts. The Tennessee sun was merciless that morning, sharp, white, and burning. Dust swirled behind Ozzy Osbourne's black car as it crawled down a dirt road that shouldn't have existed. His sat-nav had lost its mind again, rerouting him away from the main highway, sending him deeper into nowhere. He cursed under his breath, then laughed. "Bloody hell, Sharon was right," he muttered. "I shouldn't trust technology. I can barely trust myself." He rolled down the window. The smell of dry cornfields, engine oil, and summer air flooded in. The silence was deafening. No cars, no people, not even a bird in sight. He was about to turn back when a faint sound reached his ears. A guitar. At first he thought it was his imagination, but then it grew clearer, uneven, scratchy, raw, yet alive. A melody that carried pain and stubborn hope. Ozzy stopped the car and listened. It came from an old barn, its roof half-collapsed, sitting crooked between two dying oaks. He stepped out, his boots crunching against the gravel, and walked toward the sound. Every step raised a puff of dust. Every note drew him closer. The barn door was slightly ajar. Sunlight cut through cracks in the wood, scattering golden beams across the dusty floor. Inside, on a broken stool, sat a boy, no older than 15. His hair was long, tangled, his jeans torn, his t-shirt patched, and in his hands, a guitar that had seen better centuries. 2 strings were missing. The wood was cracked. Yet the boy played it like it was a priceless instrument. He wasn't just playing, he was feeling. His lips moved softly as he hummed a Johnny Cash song. Ozzy leaned against the doorway and listened. For a moment, time stopped. It wasn't perfection he heard, and it was truth. Then the boy opened his eyes and froze. The guitar nearly slipped from his hands. You're Ozzy Osbourne, aren't you?" Ozzy chuckled. "Last time I checked, yeah. But I don't know your name, lad." Jesse Calhoun, sir." Ozzy stepped in, looking around. Rusted tractor parts, tin cans, a sleeping bag in one corner. The realization hit him, and the kid lived here. "Where'd you get that guitar, Jesse?" "Found it in a skip behind the music shop." The bloke threw it out. "I fixed it best I could. Couldn't afford new strings." Ozzy's chest tightened. A boy who played music on trash, a heart too proud to beg, too brave to quit. "How long you been playing, son?" "Since I was 6. My dad bought me a guitar before he died. Said, 'Son, to be like Johnny Cash, you gotta live first.'" The boy smiled faintly. "I guess I'm still learning." Ozzy sat down on a bale of hay, studying him. "You've got something, Jesse, that sound, that hunger. You can't fake that, but that guitar won't take you far. Let me buy you a new one." The boy immediately shook his head. "No, sir. I don't take charity. My dad said a man earns his bread." Ozzy smiled, and what a slow, proud grin. "All right then. Not charity, a deal. You play me a song. If I like it, I'll buy you a guitar. Deal?" Jesse's eyes lit up. "Deal." He lifted the broken guitar, took a breath, and began to play. Soft acoustic strumming. The faint rasp of broken strings. A haunting melody fills the barn. Jesse played Johnny Cash's Hurt, but not like the record. He played it like a confession. Every note scraped raw against the air. Every silence between notes carried a story. Halfway through, a string snapped. The sound echoed like a tear, but he didn't stop. He kept playing, adjusted, improvised, finished. When the last note faded, only the hum of cicadas remained. "Was it bad, sir?" Ozzy's eyes glistened. "Bad? That was one of the most honest things I've ever heard." "You play with your soul, Jesse. That's rarer than gold." Jesse smiled, shyly wiping his eyes. "All right, deal's done," Ozzy said. "Tomorrow morning I'm getting you a guitar. But not just that. You need food, a home, lessons." "I don't want to be a burden, sir." Ozzy placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're not a burden. You're a promise. You said you wanted to be like Johnny Cash? Then you'll need more than a barn and 4 strings. Tears welled up in the boy's eyes. "Why are you being so kind to me?" Ozzy smiled faintly. "Because I was you once, lad, broke, lost, hungry. Music saved me. Now it's my turn to pass it on." The next morning, they drove to Nashville. It was Jesse's first time seeing skyscrapers, billboards, and traffic lights that actually worked. "First time in the city?" "Yes, sir. My dad always wanted to take me here." When they entered Heritage Music House, Jesse's jaw dropped. Hundreds of guitars gleamed under the lights. Every shape, every color. The assistant recognized Ozzy instantly. "Mr. Osbourne." "An honor, sir." "This young lad needs a guitar," Ozzy said. "A proper one." They tried several. But Jesse's eyes stopped at a black acoustic with silver trim. "That one." "Good eye, son," said the assistant. A Martin D28, Johnny Cash's favorite. Jesse touched it like it was holy. "Sir, I can't afford—" "Didn't I tell you? It's a deal. You already earned it." The assistant smiled as Ozzy paid for the guitar, plus a case, spare strings, amp, and mic. "That's $12,000, sir." Ozzy handed over his card. "Worth every penny." They left the shop with arms full and hearts full. That night, Ozzy treated him to a meal. Steak, chips, and laughter. "Slow down, lad. No one's taking your food," Jesse blushed. "Sorry, sir." "It's just been a while." Ozzy leaned back. "No need to be sorry for being hungry. Be sorry only if you ever stop dreaming." A week later, Ozzy found Jesse a teacher, Tom Henderson, a retired Nashville guitarist. Old, wise, and living in a care home. Tom sat in a wheelchair when they met, holding a dusty Gibson. "So you're the barn kid," Tom said. "Play me something." Jesse nervously played Ring of Fire. Tom nodded slowly, tapping his fingers. "He's got it," he said. "Technique can be taught. Feeling can't. You'll teach him then?" Ozzy asked. "Aye, but only if he listens. Music demands discipline." Jesse nodded. "Deal, sir." And so began the lessons. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Jesse biked to the care home. Tom drilled him hard, scales, posture, rhythm. When Jesse's fingers bled, Tom smiled. "You can't play truth until your fingers know pain." Jesse grinned through the pain. "Then I'll bleed till I'm ready." Months passed. The boy's music evolved. He wasn't just imitating Johnny Cash anymore. He was finding his own sound. By the time he turned 16, Jesse was playing at a small cafe on weekends. A wooden stage, 20 chairs, and a jar labeled "Tips for the Musician." People came not for the coffee, but for him. The boy with the barn guitar, word spread. A local radio host interviewed him. Then one night, a man left him a business card. "Michael Dane, Nashville Records. You've got something raw, kid. Come by the studio." Jesse called Ozzy that night. "Sir, you won't believe it." A producer. "I believe it, lad," Ozzy said proudly. "Because I always did." 2 years later, Jesse Calhoun stood backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, holding the same black Martin D28. Thousands waited outside. Ozzy was there too. Older, softer, proud. "Remember what I told you," Ozzy whispered. "Don't play for fame. Play for feeling." Jesse nodded. "Always, sir." He walked onto the stage. Spotlight hit him. Silence fell. He looked up, smiled, and began to play Hurt, not the Johnny Cash version. His version. Halfway through, his voice cracked. But it didn't matter. The audience rose to their feet, clapping through tears. Ozzy watched from the shadows, eyes wet. He whispered softly, "That's my boy." After the show, Jesse found him backstage. "Sir, I couldn't have done this without you." "You could have, lad. I just showed you where the road starts." Jesse hugged him tightly. "I'll never forget what you did." "Just remember what you promised," Ozzy said. "Tell your story. Give hope to others." Jesse smiled. "I already have, sir. It's called The Boy in the Barn." Years later, long after Ozzy retired from touring, Jesse visited him again, this time holding a vinyl record. On the cover, Jesse Calhoun, Barnlight. Ozzy laughed. "Good title, lad." "You're in the credits, sir." "I better be," Ozzy said with a wink. They sat together, listening to the record spin. Jesse's voice filled the room. Outside, the sun was setting, golden light spilling through the blinds. Ozzy whispered, "You kept your promise," and Jesse replied softly, "You gave me a reason to." If this story touched your heart, if you believe music still has the power to heal, then prove your love for Ozzy Osbourne. Subscribe to Voices of Darkness, like this video. Share it with your friends, Help us reach our 1,000 subscriber goal, because stories like this deserve to be heard. And remember, kindness doesn't need an audience. It just needs a heart. This is Voices of Darkness, where stories of light are born from the shadows.